Welcome back to the 2020 Kia Soul X-Line. We are going to do a little bit of a POV review today. I'll show you around this car in the daytime, and we'll take it for a little drive. So if you haven't already, check out our POV night drive. We'll see what this thing looks like at night. Nice new design with this Kia Soul. As I said in my last video, this totally looks like a stormtrooper up front, and I really do like this thing in white. It looks good and a little bit beefier with this plastic cladding that comes with the X-Line. Unfortunately, I thought there would be some little bit extra ride height or something to go with the X-Line name, but this is pretty much the same car as the rest of the Kia Soul line. It just has a different look and appearance. So no higher ride height or more ride comfort, which is interesting. Out back, we have a nice low and wide loading area for the trunk, for the back area. It's really pretty open back here, pretty spacious for a compact car. This handle falls to hand really easily. It's light, easy to lift up and put down. And in the back seat, we actually have a surprising amount of room back here. It's very tall, and there's plenty of leg room, especially for the class. Very comfortable back here. One of the easiest cars to get in and out of. But this X-Line is a little bit bare bones in here. It's nothing fancy. Everything you need, and a couple things you could probably do with, but for just shy of 23 grand, it's not a bad car. A lot of the funkiness on this car's design has kind of gone to the outside. This rear tail lamp assembly, this circle, is kind of pretty interesting. It looks really good at night, and I really like the design. There's some cool little accents here on the doors, but otherwise it's pretty conservative, pretty typical Kia back inside here. We have blind spot monitoring in the mirrors, an auto stop-start system that you can turn off and on here, and your traction control button there. This car has the IVT, which is kind of Kia's intelligent CVT. It works to simulate shifts, and honestly, I really like this. It's a very good transmission, and probably one of my favorite CVTs that I've ever driven, for the fact that it just does what you want it to do. It's very responsive off the line, which a lot of CVTs struggle with, and it can easily chirp the tires from a stop, no problem. It has these really nice, smooth, seamless simulated shifts that almost make you feel like you're in a very well-tuned automatic. So it does a good job. We'll get on the road, and I'll show you guys what that's like a little bit more. We have a good-looking reverse camera here, turning lines. Knobs for climate control. Pretty basic, pretty simple there. Apple CarPlay works great as usual. You can switch back and forth with this, and later on in the video we'll do a little bit of a sound test here. Go into our sound test playlist, play our 2 songs. Good stuff there. And then, of course, typical Kia infotainment. Everything is really responsive, easy to use, really well designed. Great ergonomics throughout this car. Sometimes I get a little bit confused with the cruise control buttons because I feel like the up-down should do the speed, but really it's over here. But volumes and all this stuff is very easy to use. All right, let's go for a drive. This is the naturally aspirated 2-liter engine. Makes 147 horsepower, and at only about 2,800 pounds, I think 2,850 or thereabouts with this X-Line, it has a pretty good amount of punch. It has a decent power to weight ratio, and this car's real forte is in the handling department. It almost feels a little bit Mini Cooper-esque. You're kind of tall, but it's a little bit stiffer, especially on these 18-inch wheels. And there's really sharp turn-in, it's quite a lot of mechanical grip. There's not as not as playful as a Mini, but it's definitely, it has that kind of compact stiffness and responsiveness, and without the lift-off oversteer. But it's a really pretty impressive handling car. This is just kind of, it's been really fun to throw around and toss around this week. My only complaint is that the ride quality is a little bit stiff, and with these 18-inch wheels, it's a little bit crashy over bumps. So we're going to hit a really, really, really rough road here in a minute, and I'll show you what that's like. If it were me, I'd probably opt for some smaller, lighter wheels with just a little bit more sidewall on the tires. Look how responsive this transmission is. It's not uncomfortable, it's just a little bit, you start to cringe a little bit when you hit some larger potholes, and just because you don't have as much sidewall forgiveness. No major shakes and rattles from what I can tell. Everything seems bolted together pretty well. Of course, this car only has 900 miles on it. When you're just cruising, daily driving, the character of this IVT is just so pleasant to live with. There's none of this droning, none of this rubber band effect. The engine's very quiet. It kind of all operates in the background, and it results in a really responsive transmission that gives you power when you want it, when you need it. I really like it. Super sharp turn-in, and just a ton of mechanical grip. Not even squealing the tires yet here. The only time you might get a little idea that this is a CVT is when you go full throttle, but it puts its power down pretty well, and getting onto the highway, we have a pretty decent cruising RPM. It's interesting, when I put this in cruise control at 70 miles an hour, the cruising RPM kind of sits around 3 grand, but then if I shift it over into sport mode and put it in 8th gear, it'll sit at around 2,000. So maybe a little bit of a fuel mileage hack there, where you can get a lower cruising RPM by throwing it into this manual mode. Speaking of which, very responsive to simulate shifts. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Fortunately, no paddle shifters, but you don't need paddle shifters. Testing out the stop-start here. Oh, that's not going to do it for me for some reason. Let's see if it will now. Nope, for some reason it doesn't want to do stop-start. It works pretty well. There's a little bit of a delay sometimes when starting up and hitting the accelerator, but it seems to be a pretty non-intrusive system. Luckily, you can easily turn it off with a little button to the left of the steering wheel. Great turning radius. Of course, really short wheelbase, so that contributes to that. This is just a nice, nimble little city car, and it's fun enough to drive. There's a ton of space in here, and I can definitely see why people do like the Kia Soul. Give you a little pull here. You know, honestly, I think this 2-liter has plenty of power. Definitely not going to be wanting for grunt in this X-Line trim. The seats are well bolstered, they're comfortable, they really keep you in around the corners. Guess I'm not really selling you guys on the CVT by doing all these full throttle runs, but it's kind of fun. So let's cruise at 70 miles an hour here. You can see, I'll show you what I mean. So we're sitting at about 2,800 RPM or so. If I switch it over into sport mode and then shift up a couple gears, it sits at about 2,100 RPM. And the speed stays the same. It's not like it doesn't have enough torque to keep our speed going. But I assume you get better fuel economy with that. So if you're sitting on a long journey and you just want to hypermile it up, there's a little hack. Throw it back into drive, and it'll just, the RPMs will just creep back up to 3,000, which is kind of interesting. Love how responsive it is for passing. Just a good drivetrain. So let's see here. What else can I talk about with the Kia Soul? I was honestly thinking that there would be a little bit more funkiness in this interior. There's a lot of plastics, but this is a $23,000 car. Outside, I think it looks good. I love the amount of headroom. The space in here is fantastic. I would like some heated seats, a heated steering wheel, and some automatic climate control. But you know, these are things that you don't necessarily need, and you still reap the benefits of this car without it. So yeah, overall I think it's just a nice compact car. I can see why people do really love these things. It's a shame they're not doing the hamster commercials anymore. Oh, there we go. Blind spot monitoring. Let's see if we can get stop start to activate here. There we go. And we'll listen to it when it starts up. A little bit of a delay, but it still works pretty well. I do wish that one complaint that I have is just kind of the idea of this being an X-Line trim and the way it looks. I totally went into this car without any knowledge of the trim lines and the new Kia Soul, and I totally expected this to have some raised ride height and kind of be a little Kia Soul Crosstrek, and it's not. It just isn't. It's pretty much the same suspension design as it's the exact same suspension design as the rest of the Kia Soul lineup. I would like for Kia to turn this X-Line trim into a little bit of a softer, higher ground clearance car, even if they still keep it front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive would be nice, but front-wheel drive I think is probably enough for most people's needs and purposes. I think that would be kind of cool, and just give us a little bit more sidewall and a little bit more ride compliance, and that would make this X-Line just a little bit of a separation from the rest of the Kia Soul lineup. Think about it. I think it'd be cool. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of an audio test here. We'll start with our funky soundtrack. Okay guys, so I'm not sure how well you can hear, what type of headphones you're listening to or anything, but not the best sound system in this Kia Soul. I would like a little bit more bass from this X-Line. We've got pretty nice clear trebles and midtones, but there's just an overall lack of bass. And to be honest, I was expecting a little bit better. Switch it up to our classical track. It's good enough. It's not Volkswagen Jetta bad, but there's definitely a lack of bass and richness in these tones. And of course, this is nothing special. This is just kind of the base sound system. So I'm sure you can upgrade this and get a lot of improvements. And it may be worth doing that if in-car audio is important to you. Still though, it's a nice and quiet ride at highway speeds. You can listen to music very easily. For how boxy this Kia Soul is, I'm surprised at the lack of wind noise and road noise. Cool, there you go, audio test. So anyway guys, that's it for now. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments.